Okay, barbecuers, welcome back to the Backyard Grill. Festive season's upon us, so all the festive cooking is going to come out. All the festive kilos are going to be put on over the next couple of weeks. So we're going to stick with a festive cook, which I tried to do 2 weeks ago, but the wind had other plans with my microphone. Then we got hit with a 4-day fire ban. So just before Christmas, I'll sneak this one in. So it's a traditional cook, which shouldn't be, this should be an all-rounder this year, all year rounder, because you can do this and eat throughout the whole week, pick at it, carve it, bring it to school, bring it to work. So it's actually a really good cook, and it's easy. First things first, I must thank my good mate Richie from Sterling IGA, the one-stop Italian shop. He's got a range of the hams there at the moment, and if you're lucky enough to be in Perth, go catch him. So what we're going to do, we're going to smoke and glaze this on the Weber kettle. It can be done in an oven, can be done on a barbecue, but you're just not going to get that real nice, smoky, charry, charcoaly taste. Alright, so that's what we're going to do. On the barbecue pages that I follow, and a few people that follow me, they've asked me to do this one also. And a lot of people who are coming on board were welcoming onto the club. Always a good question is, can they be their first cook? Perfect. Very simple, big, minimal effort, and you're going to get a good result. Little bit of babysitting along the way, not much stress with temp control. So it's actually a really good one for a beginner to start with, and you'll get a good sense of you've done something really good. All right, so what we're going to do, first things first, get yourself a ham. Can be any size. It's about 3.5 kilos, so you can get a smaller one, bigger one. It's your call. So they're already pre-cooked. So basically, what we're going to do, we're just going to warm this up to an internal temp anywhere from 140 to 145 Fahrenheit. Okay. So what we can do, it's got the skin on. So what I do with mine is I'll just ring it. Just put a ring around like that. Okay, it's not important, this part. And then what we're going to do, we're going to spin around, you get your knife and get under the fat. You want to leave the fat on, okay? So just this skin's coming off. I've started it just before the video just to make sure it's not going to get stuck on me. So what we do then is you just get your finger under there and you just push back on it, and without trying to disrupt the fat's got to stay on, because that's where we're going to get our pattern for the glaze. It's a little bit painstaking, but you just take your time and get it. If you want to keep the skin, you can keep the skin for crackling or whatever you want to do with it. Okay. It's a little bit painstaking, but at least. Okay, so there's your skin. We can keep that. We cut it into nice little strips, and we can make beautiful cracklings. That's what you're going to end up with there, okay? Any little bit of flappy bits, just trim them down, trim them off. And then what we're going to do is you've got your fat cap here. You can choose any design you want. If you want to be fancy-nancy, you can do diamonds, you can do squares, you can do big, small, whatever you want to do. I did big diamonds last time, so what I might do, I might try a square one this time. So basically all we're going to do is we're just going to score this fat, not to the meat, just like so, okay? Like I said, you can do big squares, little squares, it's your call. Now, I'm going to leave you at this because it's going to take a good 5 minutes. I want to try and keep the video down. So basically all we're doing now is we're going to score all the way through, and then we're going to come back and score like little checkers, okay? Once that's all done, I'll bring you back and we'll show you the next step. So we'll catch you in 5 minutes and we'll go from there. See you soon. Guys, we're scored up, okay? Basically I did small squares this time round, so we just went straight down, straight across, okay? Don't be too fussy. As long as it's scored, you'll get some sort of pattern. Okay, I sort of alternate, do triangles, big triangles, small triangles, just have a bit of fun with the kids. Alright, so now that's just going to sit in a pan, as like that. Pan's a little bit small for this ham. Usually I get one that fits in there, but that'll be okay. A lot of people put them straight on the grill, which you can. I just put it, this is the only way I do it. I have done it once before, wasn't really 100% happy. This one turns out a bit better. So in the pan, water, you can put apple juice, you can put orange juice, you can put beer, whatever you want to do. Today I've just got an apple juice, and all we're going to do is just put a bit in the bottom. That's all, about a cup. Yeah, you can drink the rest. Okay, so that's just going to sit, that's going to create, you know, more moisture in the cook. Flavour is not going to be too fussy about it because it's more for the moisture. Alrighty, so on the last video that I did, a lot of people asked me, can I actually show you the way we set up the kettle with the baskets and the fuel. So I've got a jug outside firing up at the moment. I'll bring you out there and I'm going to show you all the system, you know, how we actually get that stabilised, and yeah, we'll show you that part there. So we'll see you out there in a sec, and next step. Okay guys, we're going to set the kettle up now. What we've got here is one basket. This is an extra large one. This is not your standard basket. This is a bigger one. If you haven't got one, just fill your normal one up and put a bit on the side, or bank up a whole sided Weber, right? So if you've got one of these, bonus. If not, use your standard Weber one, put it in there and fill up around it as well. Okay? Now, I'm not going to get into this argument of every time. This is the most frequently asked question in Weber world. Charcoal briquettes, okay? At the moment, I'm doing a ham, so I'm not too fussed about flavour because it's going to be smoked and it's going to have glaze on it, so we're using that just as a heat source for today. Usually a cook like this under 2 hours, I would use charcoal, but I had beads in the shed, so it's beads it is today, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to fill the basket up. If you've got a bit of leftover, just go out the sides. Okay. So what we're going to do, put our grate on. Okay. If you haven't got one of these, an iGrill or an Inkbird, whatever you want, get one for the $100 odd. It's worth every cent. It's pretty hard to judge temps without one. I can give you a ballpark figure. If you do that and you put your vents bottom and top half open, it's not gospel, but you're going to get to that 350 mark, which you're going to chase about in between 300 and 350 Fahrenheit for the cook. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're now going to put the lid on, half bottom, half top open. We're going to let this now sit for about 20 minutes. It'll stabilise. We'll check the temp. If it's around the 320, 330 mark, we're going to go ahead and cook. If it hits 400, we're going to tap it back a touch and we're going to come down, right? So that's what we're going to do now, very simple. We're going to let this sit now and stabilise, come back, check the temp, get the ham on, and we'll go from there. Catch you soon. Rightio, we spiked to about 420 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a little bit more than I expected. I backed it off a touch, we're back down now to about 345, it's flickering around that, so that's going to be fine for the whole cook. It's only going to take about 2 hours. We're going to smoke for the first half hour. After the first half hour, then we're going to baste every half hour. So we'll get 3 or 4 bastes on this. Half an hour, half an hour, half an hour. All right, so it should be about 200 for 2 hours to a temp of about 140 internal Fahrenheit. So what we're going to do, we'll put our ham on like so. And our probe, we're just going to put, actually no, we won't put it there, we'll put it here so we can glaze properly. Alright, all sorts of woods out there, cherry wood, apple woods, jams, hickory, the whole lot. Cherry, I love cherry. I'm going to put just a small little chunk on. Okay, so that's going to start to do its thing in a few minutes. Same old story, put your lid back on and always put your vent opposite to the smoke. So you're obviously going to get that flow over the meat, out the vent, okay? That's now going to sit for half an hour without lifting the lid. Set your stopwatch for half an hour. In the meantime, in this half an hour, I'm going to go inside, I'm going to show you the glaze, and then we're going to come out and we're going to start to glaze on every half hour from there, okay? So we'll see you in a sec. We'll get inside, we'll get the glaze going, and we'll go next step. Rightio, about 5 minutes in. Smoke's starting to do its thing. Beautiful cherry wood smell is so nice. It'll go right through that ham. Righty. We'll sit about half an hour. We're going to go inside, make the glaze, and we'll be back to show you the first glaze. See you soon. Rightio, we're going to make the glaze. So that's out there now smoking for about half an hour, so you've got time to make a glaze, and then from there on in we'll start glazing. Alright, so there are a million different glazes. This is the one that I usually use. So we're going to put a knob of butter in there. couple tablespoons of brown sugar. We're going to put a tablespoon of honey, tablespoon of barbecue sauce, apple juice, about half a cup, and this is optional. You can put a bourbon in there, so you can make like a bourbon glaze. It's only like maybe a couple of shots.
Am I going to get drunk?
You might get drunk, you might sleep well tonight. Alright, so what we're going to do there, we're going to put that on the heat, just simmer that round till it thickens up a little bit. It doesn't have to thicken up, you know, crazy. Just get it all nice consistent, and then in that half an hour, we're going to head outside and we're going to start to put that on every half hour. It'll be beautifully sticky, sweet glaze on top of that ham. Alright, so we'll see you outside and ready for glazing. Catch you soon. First half an hour's up, smoke done its thing. When I open this lid, you're going to start to see all the pattern now starting to, all the pores are starting to open, okay? So we're going to take this off now for its first base. As you can see, all the pattern now is starting to do its thing. For the first base, I might just pour it into with a spoon just to get it into all the cracks. Okay, so that's all we're going to do, and on the next one, you might lose a few on the pattern, but that'll be okay. Alright, stop watch for another half an hour, and every half hour until we get our internal temp of 140, we're just going to keep glazing, alrighty? So we'll see you in half an hour. Rightio, we'll hit an hour. We're still sitting on about 345 Fahrenheit kettle temp, and the internal temp of the meat is now around about 85, so we're getting there. Alright, so another baste. I'm just going to still use the spoon on this one and start brushing. We're still battling the wind up here, unfortunately. I apologise, but we had to commit to this cook, so it's got to be done. We're fighting fire bans and now winds, so it doesn't burn on that side. It'll give this side a bit of a cook. Okay, we'll see you soon in another half an hour for our next baste. Okay, next half hour's up. And we're at 130 degrees internal, so we only got about 10 more degrees, 15 more degrees, which will be one more glaze now, and that'll be it. Right, I'm going to let my assistant do this one. Alright, go closer, pour it over all the cracks. So that's it, that's about 2.5, this will probably take 2 hours and 20 minutes now to do this one. A smaller ham you get away with 2 hours. So this glaze that we're putting on now will probably be the last one, chasing about 10-15 more degrees, and that's it. Beautiful. I might just glaze the front up a bit. That's it. Alrighty, so we're now going to let that sit for about, I'd say about, I'll let it go for the next half an hour, it's not going to hurt. So that'll end up with a temp of about 145 internal, 2 hours and a half total. Alright, so we'll whack this on for the last time. We'll see you inside. Next step. Rightio. 2.5 hours, we hit a temp of 142 Fahrenheit, so I'm happy with that. That's what we got.
Ooh,
Beautifully caramelised.
so cool.
So we can take that out now. And what we're going to do now, we're going to bring this inside, we're going to put some foil on it, we're going to let it rest for about half hour and let it cool down and we'll slice her up. Beautiful, see you inside. Rightio, we're done. Beautiful smoked glazed Christmas ham, 2.5 hours, only because it was a little bit of a big one, it's about 4 kilos that, so you probably get away with doing a 2-hour cook. 2.5 hours, 140 odd degrees Fahrenheit internal temp. What we did just quickly is I just got the last bit of that glaze that was all in there that had dripped. I just give it a final, just pour that over the top just to finish it off. And what we're going to do now, we're just going to wrap this up. Put that over the top. I'm just going to let that now sit for about half an hour just to cool down. This actually tastes better tomorrow, in my opinion. Instead of eating this fresh now, I'd rather eat that tomorrow. It's beautiful cold, so you get that beautiful smoky flavour. Awesome. Alright, so for any guys out there that were struggling to give one a shot, or they were a bit worried about how to do it, it's a very simple cook. As you saw, it's just babysitting along the way. Give it a crack. Don't be scared. You can't really bugger it up. It's a pre-cooked ham, so you might just burn a touch. So it's not. You really can't go wrong with it. Okay. Apologies again for the wind noise. I tried to do this video 2 weeks ago and got winded out. The week after I got fire banned. No good. We got some good weather again and the wind's back. So unfortunately Christmas is around 2-3 days away. So I was committed to the cook, so it had to be done. So apologies for the noise. You'll still get to see what goes on. Rightio. So that's pretty much a Christmas ham. Merry Christmas to all of yous. Hope you have a safe break. Don't put too many kilos on. And we'll see you next year. My camera lady's laughing. We'll see you next year. Safe holidays. And till then, happy grilling. Catch you then. See ya.